this is Alex McNeil with Looking for Group, and I'm here today with Joey Gawrysiak, who is the director, head coach, all-around guy at Shenandoah University Esports. So, Joey, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thanks for having me, Alex. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, so this is really just an opportunity to talk about the program at Shenandoah a little bit, share some information with me. Love to jump into some of the questions. And the first thing I usually ask is, tell us a bit about the history of the program, how to get started. Yeah, some of the
Yeah,
backstory.
sure. Yeah. So the esports program here. It's kind of a complicated answer, right? So it's been around for 2 years officially. Started out as a group of students about 3 years ago in a video game club that wanted to get more on the competitive side. And so I was the faculty advisor for that, and I competed when I was in college at University of Georgia in Halo, the original Halo,
Nice.
not two or three or any of this other stuff. The original CD with the brute controller.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I did that way back in the day. So I've always been involved in gaming and playing video games. So I was working with this club, this group of students that wanted to get more on the competitive side. I said, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. And so about that summer, we got more organized, made presentations to the administration, and got the competitive team started back in the fall of 2018. So we're going into our third year of competition this year. And on the academic side, which is the other side of the program we have at Shenandoah,
Hmm.
that has officially been around for 1 year, going into our second year with our esports major, our minor, our certificates, as well as our graduate MBA concentrations.
Yeah.
So the academic side will be going into year two, the competitive side going into year three.
Nice. Okay, yeah. So I'd love to hear a little bit about the competitive side of the program. Tell us about, what teams do you run? Do you have scholarships? What leagues do you participate in? Great to hear about that.
Yeah, so we currently are competing in 5 games this year. We're adding Valorant this year, so we
Okay.
compete in Rocket League, Overwatch, League of Legends, Smash Brothers, and adding Valorant for this academic year. That being the newest one, obviously. Those are our varsity teams that have our coaches. They have jerseys. We travel to competitions. We compete, as an official varsity team of Shenandoah University.
Hmm.
But then we also have 2 club teams that are CS:GO and Fortnite that are student run, student organized. They don't have jerseys or coaches because they are true clubs that students had interest in starting them, and so we support them and allow them access to our arena, but they have to work around our varsity schedules. So
Nice.
those are kind of the 7 games I guess we play, 5 being varsity, 2 being
Yeah.
club. We're a part of the National Association of Collegiate Esports, or NACE.
Hmm.
We've been there every year, so this will be going into our third year as being members of NACE. We also compete in CSL, ULOL, TESPA, all those kind of things. We try to compete in as many leagues as we can because we want to give students as many opportunities to be competitive and to play those games as much as we possibly can. But NACE being kind of that main focus for us.
Yeah.
And as NACE continues to grow, it offers more competitions and more games. And so this year, NACE will offer more than they ever have before. And so that's really going to satisfy a lot of our kind of needs for competing. So
Yeah.
it's going to take up the majority of our time, but we will still find those side tournaments and travel to events. Well, we used to travel to events. I don't know what we'll
Yeah.
do this year with COVID, but NACE really being kind of the main thrust for us for our competitions.
Nice. So I see you're sitting in your facility right now. It's quite an interesting, cool looking space. So I'd love to hear a little bit about, what kind of gear do you have in the space? Tell us a little bit about the facility, 'cause it's a really important part of any program.
Yeah, and I mean, no doubt. I mean, this is something that, we were very excited to be able to kind of renovate starting off last year. So, what you see behind me is our Esports Arena on campus here at Shenandoah. It is a true arena in that it is
Hmm.
made to have spectators in it. So, we wanted more than just a computer lab. And computer labs are fine. That's what we started out in year one. But going into year two, we quickly realized we wanted to host events and have spectators in here. So actually, everything you see behind me is extremely movable and flexible. We can make this arena really whatever we want. It holds up to 80 spectators, which isn't a huge event. It's a good size for a collegiate program.
Hmm.
But actually, what's really cool about this space is that I don't know if you can tell, but on the desks there are actually handles on the side. So we actually have a mobile component to this arena where we can go
Hmm.
and construct scaffolding that will, be 20 by
Oh,
20 by about
interesting.
12 feet high, holds TVs and fog machines and lights and speakers on it, and the desks will fit under there. And so we can actually take our show on the road, and we've done that a couple of times, not on campus,
Hmm.
but we've hosted events for other outside organizations where we're able to take our equipment on the road in that mobile arena and set it up, run the event, break it down, and bring it back to campus. So a lot of just variability and flexibility we have at the arena, and we wanted that, as part of this. We
Yeah.
also wanted the community space. So the way it's set up right now, we have couches and tables set up for our students to come in between classes, before practice, to have meetings, to eat food before they go in game because we don't want the food over there. We
Right.
want it over here.
Yeah.
And so that was a big component, was to build that community space while we were having the arena constructed. It has 20 PCs in it. They are, state of the art computers that we use, ordered through a company called CLX,
Mm,
is our provider. We use Astro and Logitech peripheral devices for headsets, keyboards, mice, and everything. The cameras as well.
mhm,
We are currently working on a deal with Respawn gaming chairs right now to actually refresh all of our chairs.
mm.
Um, to get those in our arena here. We also have 3 Nintendo Switches because obviously with Smash Brothers, you need
Yeah.
those. So we have 3 Nintendo Switches, but we also have a broadcast production room as part of the arena that we have on the side back there that has the green screen, it has the caster desk, it has all of our streaming equipment in there. Everything back there controls all the video feeds out in the main arena, so that we can really have our students involved on all events or all sides of production for an event.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, the arena is great. It's used for practices, competitions, hosting events in here. It's used for class. We actually hold some of our esports classes in here.
Yeah.
And then it also does the broadcast production side of things as well.
And you just showed me before we started this interview, you've been building some COVID safe little barriers to kind of augment the little stations. It's cool. You can kind of see them in the background there.
Yeah, yeah, just whatever we can do to make our students feel safe and welcome as we bring them back to campus. So that's a big part of what we're doing, just to make them
Yeah,
feel welcome and get them back into space.
that's great. So something that I'm always curious about is, what do you see as being a unique feature of the program, something that really makes it special and stand out, maybe from other programs or as an offering on campus, or yeah,
Yeah, that's a great question. And every program is going to be unique, because there's no two, same programs across the country. Everybody has different things going for them, and that's what's so awesome about esports is that students can find really what makes sense for them and where they feel welcome and comfortable and what they're trying to achieve. What makes Shenandoah different is we go way beyond gaming. We don't offer scholarships here. What we offer is a holistic experience here. We
mm,
also have an academic major, and very few schools have an academic major for esports. Um, and beyond that, we also have the minor, the online certificates in coaching and undergraduate esports management. We have the MBA certificates and concentrations as well. And so we offer a big academic portion, but also an experiential learning part through our partnerships with the Washington Justice, with Team Liquid, Evil Geniuses, where we're able to take our students and work events with these companies, so they get that hands-on experience to understand the industry beyond the playing the games part of it.
hmm,
Our students coming here know full well they probably will not be professional esports athletes. Maybe they will, and I hope they do. I hope they
yeah,
are, but we're very realistic, in that we're not getting the best of best because we don't offer scholarships.
hmm,
But what we do get are those students that want to understand the esports industry and be involved in it, and more than just gaming. And so we've been able to take our students on international trips. We went to South Korea back in December to work the
wow,
International Sports Federation World Championships. We have, like I said, we had partnerships going with other companies. We
right,
have partnerships in England, Finland, France, South Korea, South Africa, China, Finland right now that we're working on other trips to take our students on around the world when we can go. It's
hmm,
going to be a while before we can travel again, but we're trying to give our students that holistic, well-rounded experience of what esports is, and that it's so much more than playing video games. And so we're trying to make them understand the broadcast production, the science behind it, the business behind it,
yeah.
the coaching behind it. So it's more than just gaming here at Shenandoah, and we take that really to heart to give them the experience they are looking for and
Yeah,
best
yeah,
prepare them for life after college.
yeah. Well, that's cool. Tell me a little bit more about that major. That sounds really interesting. Where does that live in the institution, or what are the foci there?
Yeah, yeah. So it lives in the business school.
Okay.
It's a bachelor's of science in esports out of the business school.
Wow.
I wrote the curriculum about 2 years ago. I have a sport management background, but also I've been doing research in esports and been a gamer. So I wrote the curriculum a couple years ago, and it's a derivative of sport management. And you
Mm-hmm.
can definitely tell that it's largely focused in sport management or in event management, in revenue generation,
Hmm.
in marketing, experiential learning, internships, those kind of things. But also, we have other parts of it that I just developed last year with the coaching side of things, with the performance side, looking at health and nutrition and the impact that has on performance.
Yeah.
Uh, and so yeah, that curriculum is one of the most robust in the world. We have those international partnerships that I mentioned earlier to give students that kind of international flavor, because that's a big focus of mine personally. Is I want them
Yeah.
having those international competencies, because esports is such a global and international product that you have to understand how it operates in different countries around the world. And so, yeah, that's been a fantastic component to what we have here. It's a growing popularity to have esports as some kind of academic offering, and we're really proud of what we built. And we've been able to bring in some top faculty in the country to help teach in this.
Hmm.
We have some people working in the industry to teach courses as well to get that practical experience.
Yeah.
Um, our focus is not the classroom learning. Classroom learning is great, right? And I've been a professor for 8 years now, and I love classroom learning, but you can learn so much more by actually coming into the arena, getting your hands dirty,
Yeah.
working on running events, working with the computers, working on the broadcast production. And so the experiential learning part is really our main focus, to get students out there, to develop that network, and
Yeah.
to build a portfolio that can help them get a job when they graduate.
That's amazing. So, last question. I always like to end on the note of, kind of turning toward the audience and asking you if you have any pieces of advice, any pitfalls that you want to, warn students who are in the process of, making college decisions or applying or wherever they are in the pipeline. What piece of advice would you give them?
Go to the program that makes sense for you. You
Mm.
know, I never when I talk to recruits, I tell them, I'm not ever going to pressure you to come to Shenandoah. I want you to have all the information you need to make the best decision possible for you and your family and what makes sense for you.
Mm.
If that's going to a school that's offering you a scholarship for competing in League of Legends, fantastic. If that's what your big focus is competing in League of Legends, great. If you want to get that experience at a university that's teaching you kind of the management, the broadcast production, the hands-on stuff, the stuff more than gaming, then Shenandoah might be an option for you,
Yeah.
as are no, another number of other schools. But my biggest advice is to do your due diligence, do your research on all these different programs, because every program is unique in what they offer, what they do, who they work with, and do what makes sense for you. You know,
Mm.
don't just go to that first place that offers you a partial scholarship. You know, go to other places, ask questions. You know, ask the tough questions. You know, what can you help me get to? My career goals are X, Y, and Z. How can you help me get there?
Yeah.
And see what their answer is. You know,
Yeah.
so go to that place that really makes sense for you and is going to help prepare you for life after college. You know, it's
Hmm.
going to help you in making the best decision possible, that, you know, is going to be a healthy learning environment for you, in a place that you just feel connects with you. You know, so do your due diligence, look at different places. Don't be afraid to look at big schools and small schools to make those comparisons. But gather as much information as you can to make the best decision you possibly can for your
Yeah.
collegiate experience.
Great advice. Well, thank you, Joey, so much for being with me today. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Really appreciate it, man.